Wow, I can't believe it, guys. I just had my first ride in my car. Wow, 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 wow. This is good. This feels good. Hello guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Flora. If you just see my face for the very first time, you are welcome to my channel. I'm just recovering from a cold, guys, hence why my voice is not as vibrant as it was in the last clip that you just watched. Anyways, in today's video I'm going to be talking to you guys about how I bought my car in the UK. This video is going to be explaining to you guys how easy it is to buy a car in the UK and how I did it. This is actually not my first car. I've driven previous cars in the past, but this is the first time that I'm actually involved in the car buying process, step by step. Every single thing I was involved, I did it myself. So I just wanted to share that with you guys, and I hope it helps someone. If you see my face for the very first time, I make videos here in the United Kingdom, and I make videos about my life experiences living in the UK. And just sharing a few tips and advice for anyone that's wanting to move into the UK or anyone that's recently just moved into the UK. So without any further ado, let's just swipe straight into this video. So I'm going to start off by saying that if you want to buy a car in the UK, you have to be specific about the car you want to buy. You have to narrow your search to 2 cars maximum. Like, you have to know the type of car you want to buy. There's no point, in my opinion, just looking online for like cars. I don't really think it's the best way to start. I think you have to know the car that you want to get, decide if it's an automatic car you want to buy or if it's a manual gear that you want to get, decide if you want to get a petrol or diesel. Just gonna say this straight up, if you're gonna do a lot of driving around the town centre, driving to work, so your work is like half an hour's drive or 20 minutes, something like that. If you're going to be driving to work, coming back, going to do some shopping, coming back, I'd say maybe getting a petrol car would be better. But if you do long travel, so you're always traveling to work and your work is say like an hour, 2 hours long, you're always on a motorway, then getting a diesel car might be a better option for you. I would also say know your budget, know how much you're willing to spend. Don't go blindly. You should be able to have a budget. I think having a budget wouldn't help you in your car searching process as well. Have an idea and the means of how you want to pay for the car. There are a few ways to pay. You can be a cash buyer, so just pay outrightly and get your car, or you can pay through a hire purchase or through a PCP. PCP stands for personal contract purchase. So I'll just give you a quick difference between the two. So a HP is a hire purchase. So what a hire purchase, so what that means is you put a deposit down for the car, then you pay a fixed amount monthly till the end of the contract. So if you say to the car dealership or whoever it is, say to them, okay, I'd like to pay for this car for the next 3 years. You tell them how much you're willing to put down as a deposit. So I'm going to put down £500 as a deposit, and I'd like to pay for the next 3 years. They would work out how much it is you pay every month until you finish paying for the car. And when you finish paying for the car becomes yours. One of the advantages of a hire purchase is that at the end of the day, the car becomes yours. There are no other additional payments for it, and secondly, there is no limit. There's no limit on the mileage, so you can drive the car anywhere you want. You don't have to be thinking about, oh, I'm going to go off my mileage and things like that. You can drive the car wherever you want, however you want. If you smash the car, it's your car at the end of the day, so you don't have to repair it or anything like that. The next other payment option would be the PCP, the personal contract purchase, and for this particular one, you put a deposit for the car as well, and you're required to pay a certain amount of money for as long as you want the car for. So like I said, if you want the car for 3 years, put a certain amount of money on the car as a deposit, and then you pay that fixed amount of money for the next 3 years. However, after that 3 years, the car does not belong to you. You have to, if you then want to own the car, you'd have to pay an additional fee to get the car. The advantage of a PCP is that is that the amount of money you pay monthly isn't as much as the amount of money you pay monthly if you got the same make, same model of the car and you went for a hire purchase. Because with the hire purchase, the dealership puts their interest, because obviously they want to make gain, put their interest on it. But with the PCP, they might put some interest on it, but it won't be as much as the same module of the hired purchase, because they know that you're returning the car at the end of the day. One downfall to, or one disadvantage of getting a PCP is you have limited mileage. So they can say to you, okay, you're going to drive this car for 3 years, yeah, your annual mileage for this car would be 9,000 miles. So one of the disadvantages is that. Another disadvantage, I would say, is the fact that the car does not legally belong to you. So except after the payment, except if you decide to pay outrightly at the end of the contract. So what this means is, if you have an accident or anything like that, you'd have to repair the car before you return it on, before you return for the end of your contract. Get what I mean? So yeah, so that's about it. You can always search more on the internet about like advantages and disadvantages of like PCP and HP, and to get more knowledge on that. I just wanted to just put that across just briefly, and for anyone that's wondering. So now that you've decided on what you want to do, you can now start searching for cars. If you're going to buy a used car, my piece of advice, actually, if you're going to get a brand new too, would be to search online. There is no point going into the dealership to go look at the cars that they've put on their sales stand, because sometimes you can get ripped off. Now, some of the sites that I used when I was searching for my car, when I was searching to buy a car, was Auto Trader, motors.co.uk, and Car Gurus. Now, these sites, there are obviously many more, but these are the 3 sites that I used. They have they're like a comparison website, so they'll compare cars, say similar cars with similar mileage and similar I don't know, gearbox. They'll compare them, and they'll let you know if this car is overpriced, if this car is a good deal, if this car is a fair deal, kind of thing. So it's good in that way. Obviously, like I said, there are other sites, but these are the 3 main sites that I used when I was searching for my car. So what I did was I went on these 3 websites, and then and the funny thing is, you can see the same car you're looking for on these 3 websites. So when I was looking for my car, I saw the particular color I wanted, the exact color that I wanted. I had to compromise on color anyways, but I love the color in the end. So I saw the same car I was looking for on these 3 websites that I've mentioned, and on one of those sites it said it was a good price. On one of the other sites it said it was a fair deal, and another other site said it was a great deal. So I just weighed my options really, and I looked, and I decided to buy it. So when you see the same car, just always still look at other places, because when I was still searching, there's a particular car that I saw that was a great deal on one of the sites, and then was a fair deal on the other site. So just always look. I'll say, have the time. If you want to buy a car, you have to have the time to search, so you don't make a mistake, you get. So yeah, so when you finally obviously searched for the car that you want, and you found the car that you want, you can always email them, or you can telephone them and say, can I come for a test drive or a viewing of this vehicle, and obviously you book an appointment and then you go in. Now, earlier I said do not go to the showrooms and buy the car. The reason I say that is because when you walk into the store, sometimes when the price of a vehicle is being reduced, they do that online. But when you walk into a showroom, it's not reduced. It might not necessarily be reduced in that showroom. So what it is you see the exact price on the vehicle, and then if you look at that same car online, you see that it's been reduced, but obviously in the showroom it's not been reduced. So you walk in, and for the fact that you've come in, they expect that, oh, you've seen this car for example, you've seen this car for 15,000 pounds. In their head, they're like, well, for you to have walked into this showroom, haven't seen the price, you're willing to pay close to that amount, if not that amount. You get what I mean? So, but if you have seen it online and it's reduced, and then you then walk into the showroom and then you say, oh, I've actually seen this car is actually reduced, you know, this is not the price that is online, then obviously you can start negotiating from the price that you saw online as opposed to the price that's right on the vehicle, if you get what I mean. So yeah, another thing I'll say is there are so many places that you can get a car, but if you're gonna, I'm gonna say personally, if you're gonna spend maybe like £3,000, £4,000, £5,000 on a car, a used car, you can buy it anywhere, you know, and obviously, you know, fix whatever you need to fix, because there are going to be things that you need to fix, you know, in your next MOT, something like that, but you might not actually have anything to fix. But I feel like if you're going to spend anything above £10,000, you should really, or even anything above £7,000, in my personal opinion, this is my opinion, I think you should go to the showroom of the dealers themselves. And so for example, my car is a Peugeot, and I went to Peugeot themselves. Like, I wasn't gonna put the amount of money that I got my car, I wasn't gonna just give it to anybody. Like, I wanted to actually go to the proper car, I don't know, dealers, if that makes sense. But it's not to say that other people won't, but I wanted peace of mind. So if I know that if I went to Peugeot to get a Peugeot car, I know that if anything went wrong or whatever, I can always come back within, is it 14 days or something, and say, oh, I'm not happy with this car. It's not to say that you can't do that with other dealership, but this is just my personal preference, and that's what I did. But yeah, just because my car was like expensive, I'm never gonna lie, you know, so I had to be sure I was getting it from a proper, you know, dealership. So yeah, so when you finally go in to see your car, ask them. You might not even need to ask them anymore. Just get, if I suppose, as long as you might not even need to ask them, because when you see the car online, you're going to see the plate number. But anyways, when you go into the car, or before you go in to see the car, search for the MOT report of that car online. All MOT reports of every car is online. .gov.gov. Search carmot.gov.uk. Yeah, something like that. I'll find the website and I'll put it in the description box. The plate number of the car, and then you see if the car's got any advisories. That way you'd know what to expect. If you go in there and they say to you, oh no, this car's actually passed MOT, you can say to them, but these are the faults on the car, have they been repaired? Because if they've been repaired, then it should not be showing on the MOT. Do you get what I mean? But if it's showing on the MOT report, then it means that they've not been repaired. And even though the car's passed MOT, for your next MOT you might have to then repair it. Do you get what I mean? So just always check for the MOT report. You want to see the MOT report. Check that the AC is working. Obviously when you go for your test drive, check the tires, check everywhere. Don't, like, you're putting your money down, so don't just believe the words of what these people say. You're putting your money, because as soon as you give them that deposit, you sign that contract, there's no going back. Do you get what I mean? So check properly, check that, you know, all the like mirrors are working, the navigators are working, the wipers are working. Check that you can adjust the seat, check that you can even adjust the steering wheel if you need to. Like, look everywhere. Like, you need to have time to do it, so you don't have any regrets. Look everywhere, literally everywhere. If you need to come out of the car, just look underneath, be sure nothing is sticking out from either the bonnet or the boot, or just look. I was extra like that because, yeah. So yeah, ideally if you're gonna get a car, go with somebody. Do not go alone. And if you already know how much you want to pay for the car, you can still bargain. But quite frankly, I don't know how to bargain for stuff. As soon as they told me what the car was, we were prepared to pay for it and just move. But if you're very good at bargains, just do it, and it can save you a few pounds here and there. But I'm terrible at that. So when I saw that the car was a great deal and a good deal on the sites that I looked at, I was like, and I'd compared it to other cars as well that I've gone to see. I was willing to pay for what I paid for my car. But still try and see if you can negotiate, bargain, ask for a lower price in this and that, and see if it works for you. So yeah, that's basically all I wanted to share in this video. If you're this is just a side note that I just want to give, like a piece of advice. If you've not done your practical test and you're learning how to drive, it might be a pain, but I'd advise that you learn with a manual. When you learn with a manual transmission car, when you pass your practical test, you're given a full driver's license. When you learn with an automatic car, you can't then drive a manual. You'd be given a license for just an automatic car, and my car is an automatic car. But when I passed my test, with a manual transmission car. Now the benefit of that is because when I then wanted to, when my dad wanted to buy me my first car, it was easy. He bought me a manual car, which was cheaper than what the automatic version was. Now my present car at the moment, the manual version is £2,000 less than the automatic car. So you can see, so if you're going to get an automatic, if you know you're trying to cut costs on how much you want to spend on a car, you can just simply save that amount of money by putting in the extra effort, the extra work into like passing your test with a manual car, as opposed to doing an automatic and then not having the extra £2,000 to buy the exact car you want to buy, when the manual, say for example, the manual is like £7,000 and then the automatic is like £9,000. You could have saved on that if obviously money is like, you're really tight on money. So that's just a piece of advice I wanted to give, that it's best for you to learn with a manual. But if you have the money, automatic cars are easier to drive anyways. If you have the money and if you have the money, just go for an automatic. But if you ever need to drive a manual for maybe work reasons or anything like that, you would need to then go back. You don't have to go back and do your theory, but you need to go back and do your practical test or practical learning with a manual transmission car. What else am I forgetting? But yeah, that's basically it. I hope this video was useful. If you enjoyed it, please don't forget to give me a thumbs up, and let me know in the comment section down below. Sorry guys, I might not be my usual self, but like I said, I'm recovering from a cold, and hopefully next time I see you guys, my cold will be better, and yeah, I'll be looking this serious. Have a good day. Bye.